Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 2, and today we'll explore 3 key events: the Chinese Exclusion Act, the People vs. Hall Act, and the Anti-Coolie Act, and learn how each played a crucial role in their struggle for civil rights and cultural preservation. So let's dive in. First up is the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. This act was a landmark in U.S. history, being the first major federal legislation to explicitly suspend immigration for a specific ethnic group. Passed by Congress and signed by President Chester A. Arthur, it targeted Chinese laborers and severely restricted their entry into the United States. But how did this contribute to the progress of civil rights in the United States? So, despite its restrictive nature, Chinese immigrants showed remarkable resistance. They resisted the act through methods such as the paper son system, where young Chinese males purchased identity papers to claim they were sons of U.S. citizens. This act of resistance was significant because it highlighted the injustices of racially discriminatory laws and laid the groundwork for civil rights movements in the future. So their efforts of the Chinese Americans to challenge and eventually help overturn these discriminatory laws in the future demonstrated their vital role in the civil rights narrative. So, to a moderate extent, Asian Americans indeed contributed to the progress of civil rights by persistently fighting for fair treatment and equality through means of resistance, resilience, or even through legal actions. And so next we will discuss the People vs. Hall case from 1854. So this case involved George Hall, a white man convicted of murdering a Chinese minor, Ling Sing. The California Supreme Court overturned Hall's conviction, ruling that Chinese Americans and immigrants could not testify against white citizens. This ruling was based on a broader racial discrimination law that had already prohibited blacks, mulattoes, and Native Americans from testifying against whites. So, the legal decision represented a significant obstacle, stripping Chinese immigrants of legal protections and making them vulnerable to injustices without recourse. Yet, despite this, the Chinese community continued to assert their presence and value. They contributed to the economy, worked in mines, helped build railroads, all while navigating a hostile legal environment. Their persistence and resilience eventually led to the dismantling of such discriminatory laws. This case exemplifies how Asian Americans overcame severe legal and political obstacles by continually asserting their rights and pushing for legal reforms. Their journey through these challenges showcases their determination and resilience. So lastly, let's turn to the Anti-Coolie Act of 1862. This act was a part of a broader legislative effort in California to curb Chinese immigration and labor contributions. Passed during a time of rising anti-Chinese sentiment, and the act aimed to discourage Chinese laborers by imposing additional taxes and restrictions. Despite these challenges, Chinese immigrants managed to preserve their cultural heritage remarkably well. They established Chinatowns across the United States, which became cultural enclaves where they maintained traditional practices, languages, festivals, and cuisines. These communities provided social support and helped preserve their cultural identity amidst widespread discrimination. The endurance of these cultural practices, despite significant pressures to assimilate, indicates that the people of Asian descent were able to preserve their culture to a great extent. So these vibrant cultural communities not only provided continuity, but also enriched the cultural fabric of the United States. And so in conclusion, the experiences of Chinese immigrants in the face of the Chinese Exclusion Act, the People vs. Hall Act, and the Anti-Coolie Act reveal a story of remarkable resilience and determination. They contributed to the progress of civil rights, overcame severe obstacles, and preserved their cultural heritage against all odds. Their journey is a testament to the enduring spirit of Asian Americans and their crucial role in shaping history and culture of the United States. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a like and a comment. Stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you so much.